start recording and welcome everyone along to the facilitator call this morning. We're going to do a whole lot of bits and pieces, but yeah, thanks for trying out the chat box. If you've just joined, please let us know what the weather's like. It sounds like, yeah, it's from Christchurch up is quite a good place to be. Down south, not so good. And we're going to have some fun online this morning with everyone. So welcome along. And at this point, I'm going to hand over to you, Brendan, just to open.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Denise. Well, I hope everyone's, I guess this past week's been adjusting to life inside a bubble. I know I've actually found it quite useful to and beneficial being able to focus on some key work tasks. But I guess the other key thing is I'm really enjoying the family connection time that this situation has created. So that's really cool. Hey, look, I'm just going to keep it really short and just wanted to say thanks for tuning in again. And for anyone joining for the first time, yeah, thanks for that and welcome. We had some good feedback from last week, and we're keen to keep these sessions going for you all. And I guess that's my key message. Look, I think it creates a great opportunity for you to connect with others in the same situation, to share that knowledge, experiences and learning that others can reflect on and take back into their connections with their action groups or just generally into their work. So look, please keep the feedback coming through, keep connecting with Ben and Dustin. We're here to try and support you and your groups and connect through these times with each other and to carry on the great momentum that's been taking place within Action Network. So yeah, that's all I've really had to say for now. So hand it back to you, Denise.
Thanks so much, Brendan. Yep, it is great to have everyone, and we really do appreciate your feedback. We're just going to keep going with this and keep adding stuff in. As Brendan said, Ben and Dusty are still taking calls, so Dusty, you're online, give us a wave. I think Ben's going to be a wee bit late. He's got some other bits and pieces. We just want to let you know we're still planning a facilitator forum for later this year. But it's going to be a virtual forum rather than a face-to-face one. So we're working through that at the moment, and we'll keep you posted as we get more details and as we work out what might be of interest. So if you do have any feedback or thoughts on that, please flick us an email because we'll add it into our planning and everything. And hopefully everyone's all good with the Zoom basics. You found the chat box, you know how to mute and unmute yourself and turn on and off your video. Welcome to a couple of people who are on calls. So apologies if we share stuff and you can't see it, but I will share the recording of this. And I've got the recording from last week available now. So after this, I'll send that round and we'll get this one done as soon as possible as well too. What I'm going to do though is I'm aware that you're all over New Zealand because that's what you said for the weather, and you are all over there. And so I'm going to flick you into breakout rooms, just 60 seconds, introduce yourself to each other if you don't know each other, because it's good to touch base with other facilitators across the country. So I am going to quickly do that. And so you've got a minute or so. I'll open the rooms. So Anna, yep, are you all good to accept the breakout room invitation? Yep, cool. And Steph, are you all good? Hey, Taffy.
Should be coming.
Hi, Taffy.
Hello, Denise. How are you?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Good, good.
That's good. Now I'm just going to assign you to a breakout room.
Breakout room.
Yeah, so you can accept that invitation and join your breakout room just to say hello to people. Hey, Sarah.
Hi, Denise. How are you going?
Yeah, good. Thank you. How are you?
Good.
That's good. I've just sent people into breakout rooms. They're just coming back, and I'm just going to do another quick round of introductions. So you've just missed the first kind of sending people into rooms. So
sorry, we're just letting our chickens out for the first time.
Oh, okay. No, very important.
Can you hear me, Denise?
Yes, I can. Hi. Denise.
Oh, when Dean and I were in a group, and we couldn't hear. He couldn't hear me.
Oh dear. Okay. Well, we're going to try this again with some different people. So if you're still having that problem, let me know.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a bit odd. Because as soon as you unmute, you should be all good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well done, everyone, for coming in and out of breakout rooms. One second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Good work, people. All good, Tony. Great to have you on board.
Yep, good to be here.
Yep, excellent. You found the chat box, so that's important. All right, everyone's back again. All right, so we're going to do that again. I'm going to recreate the group, rooms again, so that you get the chance just to have another chat to people. So I'm going to recreate. All right, so hopefully you're with different people this time. Another minute just to say hi to people. So accept your invitation. Hi, Greg. How are you?
Struggling to get into the meeting, but here I am.
Oh, well done. Yeah, they changed up the settings on over the weekend. So I sent out the new link, but not everyone got it, and I suspect that it was still a bit dodgy sometimes. But anyway, all right. I'm just about to close all the rooms again. I'm just getting people to introduce themselves. So sorry you've missed that bit.
That's okay.
That's all good. That's great. People are chatting away, so it's good. What's it like up in Nelson?
It was a little bit overcast this morning, but it's brightening up now. Bit of sun about.
Cool.
Hopefully, we're going to get some rain this afternoon, but who knows?
Yeah.
It's a bit like
Yeah,
that.
they keep saying it, and then they keep on moving it.
Yeah, no, look, yeah, we're back to being quite desperate for it around here. So
I bet.
yeah, but anyway, it is what it is. What about down your neck of the woods?
Well, we had a good inch and a half of a little bit more like last week, which was really cool. So a nice start. And North Canterbury got a heap, which was awesome.
Yep.
They really needed it. But again, yeah, we need some more, probably some follow-ups. So well done, team, all coming back. Woohoo. Good work, everybody. All right. Just wanted to do that a couple of times to give you the chance to just to introduce yourselves around the place, because some of the feedback from last week was that it was really cool just to meet some facilitators from other areas. So worth doing that. If you did have any problems, please write it in the chat box so that we can follow this up later and try and sort out if there's anything we can do from our end to help with that, but pop it into the chat. What I wanted to do this morning, aside from get you all to introduce yourselves, if I just go back to sharing, was run a couple of exercises to get us thinking about ideas for pre-work for online activities, and to remind us of the ORID tool, which is a nice discussion tool, which I think lends itself to online meetings as well. So we were just going to have a go at that. If you have any other questions or particular things that you want to ask, please put them in the chat box, because we're going to keep on checking the chat box and using that to form meetings in the future. So yeah, please just keep chucking things into the chat box. Doing this, we're going to use Jamboard again. For those of you who are on the call last week, we used Jamboard. I've been in a couple of online meetings since, and they've used Google Docs, and that works just as well. So any document where people can join in from outside works in this kind of environment. But the tip is to make sure they're set to allow editing. I've been in one where the Google settings weren't allowing people to actually edit, and one where they were, and it obviously worked better when they were. So the next exercise that we're going to do is thinking about pre-work ideas for online activities. So I am going to stop sharing and oh yeah, okay, I'll come back to these chat ones and give you the link to the first Jamboard, which will be, so now actually what I was going to do, I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully you can see this. We'll see how this goes, just to show you where Jamboard actually is, because I had a few questions about where Jamboard actually was. So if I share my screen, and I get out of presenting. Yep. Okay, I'll go back into here and turn that off. Learning as we go, people. All right, so I'll share my screen. All right, now hopefully you can see that I've gone into Google now, and up here on the top right, there's 9 dots. And if I click those 9 dots and get you guys out of the road, if I click those 9 dots, I get a whole lot of Google applications. And if you scroll down, here's Jamboard. So if you have a Google account, a Gmail account, or a Google account of any description, you click those 9 dots, then you can scroll down. There's a whole lot of stuff. You've got the docs and sheets and all of those kinds of things, but there's also Jamboard. And that's where we're going to be. So I'm going to share this link with everyone. I'm going to stop sharing and put that in the chat. So if you can have a look at this grab that Jamboard link out of the chat before I send you into breakout rooms, because one of the learnings from breakout rooms is that if you send a chat out, nobody can see the chat, everyone's chat in actual breakout rooms. So you need to give the people a link before you send them into breakout rooms. So on that Jamboard, it's basically some ideas for pre-work for online activities. And I want you to just have a bit of a brainstorm, have a chat amongst yourselves in your breakout rooms, and on each sticky note, just write down an idea that you've had for what you think would be useful when setting people up for an online activity. So yeah, your thoughts. And if you do have any questions in breakout rooms, you can ask for the host, which is me, and I can drop into your breakout room, and you can always, yell out or come back into the main room as well, and I can put you back into the breakout room. So I'm going to recreate again and send you back in. So have a go, please. Delwyn, did your sound work? Oh, chat room?
Yes, it did. It was Dean's headphone.
Oh, right. Good to know it wasn't you. Well done.
I seem to have lost the main screen. I don't know where I've ended up.
Oh, so if you go up the top, maybe it might appear the options. Move your cursor up the top or down the bottom. Sometimes you have to exit full screen to get the options again. No?
No. I might have to go out and come back in.
No, hang on. I should be able to move you. Hang on, move you. No. So when you go, have you got a end meeting and all of that?
No, it's just gone to post attendee Zoom.
So no, yeah, I would, if you Alt tab on your keyboard and see if you can see the Zoom when it comes up.
Yeah.
Through Alt tab, can you see? If you flick,
yep.
If you keep
I've got you back now.
Yep,
yep.
Excellent.
Okay.
Join. Oh, hang on. That would be because I'm muted. Now can
Am
you?
I in the right meet? Am I in the right meeting?
You are, absolutely. I'm just going to join you to a breakout room because most people are in the breakout rooms. So I'm just going to join you to 11. Okay, you should have an assignment.
And their homework before our next call is to go through their accounts, because we're going to look at measuring and monitoring and look at what areas of their accounts they can trim expenses wise for the coming 12 months, because it could be a tight 12 months ahead if export markets drop off and the likes, if people aren't buying our products. So
So I see Denise.
yeah, I don't know, it's not necessarily
Denise. Hi, Denise.
Sarah, you had a question for Denise.
yeah.
I've got a question, Denise. I'm on an iPad, not a laptop, and I can't see the Jambo or whatever, Jamboard.
Yes, so if you click participants, can you touch your screen and find the participants?
Yep.
So click that.
Yep.
And then at the bottom of that, there should be the chat.
Right. Yep, it's opened up the chat, but there's not really anything in here.
Oh, that would be because you're in the breakout room, and in the breakout room, hang on.
Well, see, I've
So
got
I'm
the chat up and I
Okay.
can see the breakout. I can see the chat from within the breakout room, but that's I'm on my
come up
laptop. So
Yep, because I've just added it into the chat. So can you access it? Oh.
Something looks, yep, it's looking promising.
Excellent.
Yep.
Fantastic. Good work, Sarah. This is all, I only just discovered yesterday where to find the chat box on iPads or tablets. So woohoo.
Okay. No, I found the chat box before, but there was just nothing sitting in it.
Yep. No worries. Well, keep up the good work, team.
Okay.
Thanks, Denise.
No worries. Thank you. Tim, can you hear me?
Sorry, Denise, I'm just going to have to leave now.
No, that is all good. And thank you for joining us.
All right, thank you, Denise. See you
No
next
problem.
time.
Awesome. Okay, bye-bye. Well done, people. Good work. So if I have a look at the Jamboard and bring that up, I've got some really cool ideas for doing pre-work with online activities. So I'll share the link again with the notes after this online meeting, so that you can actually save a copy of that Jamboard. If you go back up to the top right, you should be able to save a copy of it, and yeah, so use it as you're considering what to do with your groups, because getting online engagement is it's just a little bit different to face-to-face meetings. Face-to-face meetings, you can see body language, and you know how people respond to emails and stuff like that beforehand. But doing pre-work, following up online. So yeah, so use this as you can, basically.
So Denise,
yeah.
that was a really useful. We had quite a useful discussion.
Yep.
Some of which we didn't capture on the notes, but I think Leslie made a really important. She's going to have a drink session with her group tonight, and it's really about getting them kind of socialised to the idea, because a lot of farmers won't be familiar with this technology. So having that opportunity to just kind of get comfortable with it and working out how to use it could be quite useful.
That's a great idea. So it's a low pressure kind of environment, and you've got the chance to figure out some things if they're going wrong and that kind of stuff. That's what you mean? Yeah.
Even
Brilliant.
do a one-on-one initially just to get them used to it.
Absolutely. It's a really cool idea. Any other thoughts or ideas or comments that people wanted to jump in with at this point? Remember to unmute yourself.
Just one question, Denise. How do you work out which post is yours?
Yeah, that's I saw your question there, Greg, and I don't actually know is the answer. So I will look that up and get back to you, because I feel like you should be able to do that on Jamboard, but I just don't know how to do that. Anyone else have any ideas on that? Anyone know or have used Jamboard?
Denise, I did notice that when they come up, it said like anonymous elephant, anonymous chinchilla or whatever.
Yeah.
That says who did it. So you just need to know what animal you are.
Oh yeah, good point, Leslie.
Would say who it was.
So
surely you can rename that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can rename them. Yep. At the top, once you get started, you can rename people. So if you ask them all to name themselves when you start, it should work.
Fantastic. There you go. Feel free to have a play with that in the Jamboard. So I've also had a question around breakout rooms and how you do that. There's some really cool little Zoom tutorials that I'll send you out some links to. And Julia is suggesting, hey, could we have some small facilitator sessions so you can practice those breakout rooms? I think that's a great idea. I'm very happy to help if you need an extra person, so please just yell out. But if you met a couple of people in the intros, send them an email and invite them to a Zoom meeting and have a play, because it's really the best way of actually learning this stuff. And we've got a few other questions. Does anyone know if Hangouts or Zoom is better? So if you do know, if you have an opinion, an answer, please type it into the chat board for Donna. And Simon's asking for any good stories of farmer groups using Zoom. I know Heather Collins with the Nationwide group uses Zoom, and they do have drinks in the evening via Zoom, and that's been one way of getting them all quite comfortable with it. So type in any thoughts into the chat box, and I'll download that chat and save it as well, and send out any questions. Cool. Alrighty. All right. The next thing I wanted to do was another Jamboard, which is this time on ORID, And I thought it was worth reminding everyone of the ORID tool that hopefully you vaguely remember from the lead facilitator course, and Lab and Jeanette running that. So I'm just going to share my PowerPoint again. And here we go. So we've done those. Oh, so the ORID process is thinking through objective questions, reflective questions, interpretive questions, and then the decision question. And it's a way of helping people just to slow down and process thinking instead of jumping straight into what does it mean for me and what should I do about it. It actually helps people just reflect a little bit. What did I see? What did I hear? How do I feel about it? And then move into the what does it mean for me and what's the decision that I might want to take. So I wanted to get you doing another Jamboard to come up with a few questions that might be useful in the online setting. I don't expect that they'll be massively different to questions that you'd use face-to-face, but worth just thinking about. So I'm going to share another Jamboard with you, and you'll see on this one, if I share the link in the chat box again.
Some of us had trouble picking up that Jamboard link.
Yeah, so I've just put it in the chat box. Thanks, Tony, for letting me know. I've just put it in the chat box. So see how you go with that, and reply or wave or jump, unmute and say. So jump into that Jamboard link.
I couldn't open the last link and I can't open that link either.
Okay.
You need to copy and paste it.
Yeah, did you copy and paste it? Oh, yep, good idea. Thank you, Brendan. So if you just highlight it and then copy and paste it into your browser, does that work? You'll see on that Jamboard when you do go in that I've got different colored sticky notes this time. So objective questions in yellow, reflective questions in green, interpretive questions in blue, and decision questions in orange. I see a few of you are joining. I love the animals and birds that you all get named. So I'm going to mix you up again with breakouts, and yeah, just take this opportunity to brainstorm with your fellow facilitators some ideas for ORID questions that you could use in an online setting. If you've got any questions, now's the time to jump on, unmute and ask, or otherwise stick it in the chat box. Otherwise, I'll open the rooms. Oh, a chat, hang on, before I do that. Oh, how do you know which animal you are? So does anyone have any clues on how to identify which animal you are? If you go in and right click on it, does it give you the option to change the name? That might be the clue that you have the ability, and that might be you. You could try that. I will, if we don't come up with that now, I will Google that and find out and let you know after this meeting. All right, I'm going to open the rooms. So spend a bit of time working through ORID questions. How are we doing, people? You doing okay, Donna? Yep, cool, excellent. And Tim, I think you can still join in if you want to. Feel free to go into your breakout room and just type in the chat box to contribute to the breakout room. So feel free to do that if you want to. You can still do that.
Hey Dee,
Hey, Denise.
you're all muted. You can't be saying anything while you mute.
It's true. I
Yeah.
can, but you can't hear. So
Yeah. Hey, I've got to go, mate.
No worries. I thought of that, and I suddenly went, oh, I put you in a breakout room, and then you'll need to go. But that's all good. And we've got Tim who's online who just chat on the chat box. So thanks for joining, Helen.
Okay, cheers, guys. Thank you very much. Good on you, Dee. All right, see you guys.
So this is just I thought, hey Tim, can you access the chat box and you can still type in messages. So if you can hear Leslie and I in the breakout room, you can still join in by using the chat. So Tim's online, but just got lots of noise in the background, so he wanted to still take part. So
You're quite quiet today, Denise.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'll
I don't know. I thought it was my speaker, but everyone else is
saying
louder.
Is that better?
Yeah, no, it is a little bit.
Little bit? Okay. Thank you for letting me know, because it's impossible to know when you're actually doing bits and pieces. So yeah.
Anyway, so our questions up here.
Yes, so if you've Zoom just dropped out.
Sorry, we'll just be typing stuff. Oh, yep.
So Tim, you've got Leslie there. I'm jump back out again. So sorry, Leslie, you've got you and Tim though can work together on the chat, and Leslie, you can jump into jam.
So Tim can hear me?
Yes, Tim can hear you. He's just not responding. So he'll just be typing in. Yep, he can hear. There you go.
Yeah.
So cool. So Tim,
Sweet.
meet Leslie virtually. Leslie, Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Cool. I'll leave you to it. Any thoughts for that Jamboard would be great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Interpretive.
It's been quite busy. Hi, Denise. You're on mute, love.
I am on mute. It's the first thing I do when everyone goes, and then I completely forget to unmute myself. Gareth, can you talk now?
Yes, if you can hear me.
Yes, I can. So apologies. I think I muted you because I was getting rid of background noise. As the host, I can mute and unmute people, but then, apologies. On your phone.
So how do I do that? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. So it should just still be that you do the normal mute unmute on your phone. Does that work or not?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So apologies though, because that was me that muted you, and I probably needed to unmute you in the system so that you could talk.
Okay, thanks.
We knew we had a third team member. We just knew that he couldn't talk.
Yes, no. So now you can quickly harvest his ideas.
Can you see the screen then, Gareth?
No, I'm just on the phone. I'm out in the middle of a paddock, so the side of paddock.
Okay.
So I can't see anything.
He can hear
Well, I'm
you.
sure Denise is going to send us the Jamboard anyway, aren't you, Denise?
Absolutely. So that's what I mean. Harvest his ideas, and he'll get all of yours as well, and everyone else's after this. So
okay,
that's good. Awesome.
I've
Right, I'm back.
You are, well done. Good work. Welcome, welcome. Woohoo. Everyone's back. Great to have you all back.
See, all the children are playing, drawing pictures.
I know. it's funny. Anyway, you can see that you've got lots of thoughts there. It's really cool. I'll share this Jamboard again after this. So you've got some ideas for questions to run an ORID online, you know, eventually face to face. Like I said, the questions won't be that much different. So yeah, I'll share that with you so that you can start using some of these questions and thoughts. Okay. Oh yeah, we had to work out what animal you were. Yep. So did you actually work it out? Yes? No?
No, I haven't got a clue.
No. Okay. Oh, a crow. Someone worked it out. So yep. So I will follow up with that. And if you do have any tips for working that out, that's awesome. Lab, I'm going to just put you on the spot, wondering if you had any top of mind tips that you thought would be good to share with the group at this point, given the online environment that they're working in. So yeah, any thoughts, Lab?
I'm not hugely experienced at this either, because you know, we've only just started having to being forced into this, but we have worked with some team coaching sessions doing this, and you know, we kind of had a bit of a chat in our group about the use of the technology and stuff, and we're thinking that the more simple you can keep it, the better. And we kind of think that Zoom seems to be one of the better ones for low bandwidth users. So it's kind of works better video and audio quality for you know, in areas where there's low bandwidth. So that's probably one to get learning. And I just discovered this morning that there's a whole lot of other functionality in Zoom. Apart from breakout rooms, there's you can actually share a whiteboard and all kinds of stuff. So you might not actually have to use Jamboard as well. You might be able to do it all in one thing. So it's worth having an explore. And Denise has asked me to do something at one of these with some thoughts on facilitating remotely. So I'll have a bit more of a play, and all of you can too, and then we can find out, because I'm sure there's a lot of collective wisdom in the whole group. So perhaps we'll do a session like that where we actually start sharing what we all know, so we can upskill each other. My only one thing I have, I've been doing a little bit of reading about, you know, writing online stuff, and the philosophy seems to be that you should kind of pretend that you're designing a face-to-face session and then adapt it. Otherwise, if you start with the technology, then you'll end up with a PowerPoint telling rather than asking kind of thing. So remembering that you're a facilitator and coming at it with that mindset, decide what you want to do and then find the tools to do it rather than the other way around. So that's probably the total of my wisdom right now, Denise, that I can remember.
No, that's all good. And Donna's just asking, do we need to pay for Zoom to get the functionality of breakout rooms? And yes, you do have to be a paid user of Zoom to get the breakout rooms. So the free version of Zoom gives you a whole lot of stuff, but just not the breakout rooms. So yeah. Anna and Richard, just wondering if you had anything that you wanted to share, given that you both facilitate RP action groups. And I'm not sure how much you've done online, but if there's anything that you thought would be good to share at this point, it'd be great to hear from you.
Hi, yeah, we've had a Zoom session last week or the week before, I think it was, and we invited a whole lot of professionals, farmers onto our Zoom session and just got their opinion challenges and went around the room basically with everyone listening to hear what upsides, what positives they thought might come out of this. So it was quite good just to see where everyone was there and how everyone was feeling, because it was such a range of industries. Well, it was all ag related, but such a range of companies. So it was quite good to hear all that. Now, I don't know what you've done, Richard.
Yes, I had one 2 weeks ago, and we with the group, and we had 2 guests, each had an hour, and it worked really well. You've just got to, it's quite interesting when you're not face to face. You've just got to make sure that you're including everyone. So you can't necessarily see everyone on the screen. So I just, the second time I did, I just got a pen and paper and just all the names, and I put a tick each time someone had asked a question or made comments, just to make sure that where there were no ticks, you were making sure that those people were included. So just opening and asking open question, that sort of thing. And the other thing, at the end of I didn't have Jamboard, so I did some call out notes or some, so their initial key points that they'd got from the sessions, and I did it on a whiteboard with the camera on me, obviously, and I sent that out. But I think Jamboard will be really good to do that, because it'll be really interactive. So it'll help to actually share the learnings for the individuals all on that Jamboard at the one time. I reckon that's quite powerful. So I've got one tomorrow, so I'm going to have a crack at that.
Awesome. Yeah, and I think the key with all of this is practicing,
Yeah.
just to have a practice. I love Julia's idea of just emailing a few people, inviting them to a Zoom meeting and having a play with it to see what's possible. And yeah, and one of the other questions, sorry, comments, clicking the wrong box, that Warwick made was, it's really important to get used to using the technology. So anything you can do, like having that drinks kind of online, or just a casual catch up that helps people get used to the technology, is going to help you when you actually have a more formal activity online. So yeah. At the moment, you can't use my subscription, sorry, Taffy, but very happy to help you with that and talk further. And yes, absolutely, Tony, we call it sticky notes rather than Jamboard. Happy with whatever you call it, really. And Julia's offering, if anyone wants to practice, she's happy to join. So we're coming towards the end of the session. Really appreciate that you have got into this and thrown out your ideas on the 2 Jamboards and used the chat box. It's really cool. So I'll share all the notes. I've made a bit of a list of things that I need to either Google or share with you, just instructions, different ideas. And there was a couple of other questions, like why I split you into the groups of 3, which was just to get smaller groups going, really, rather than bigger groups. Zoom allows you to do smaller groups, so why not use it? And yeah, so we'll follow up with all of that. A few more chats that Teams, if you already subscribe to Office 365, you can use Teams, and I know John Stanchel and others have been using it. So yeah, there's a few people around that you can ask about that. I'm going to try, for those of you who are on the call last week, I tried to do a poll and it didn't really work very well, but I'm going to give it another go, because this is how we learn, by trying. So I'm hoping that you can see the poll that I've put up and you can respond to it. And you can be honest, because it's online and I don't know who's answered what question. And we're all getting used to this. So a few comments there that Teams work, people are using Teams at work, but finding that Zoom is quite useful for people with low bandwidth, which is pretty cool. Anyone else wants to vote? If you can see it or not. Cool, otherwise I will end that and share results. Hopefully you can see that it's pretty much people are liking this, so that's good. We'll keep going with doing some online calls. With Easter, it's going to be a bit later next week, but I will send out another invitation for next week. Yeah, I'll keep adding to the document that I'll send out, and hopefully that's all really useful. So thanks again, people, for joining, and I'll email round the recording of this shortly, but great to have you online, and great to see you all today. Thanks for joining.
Beauty, thank you.
Thank you. See ya.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks a lot, Denise.
No
Catch you all
worries.
later.
Cool.
Thanks,
See ya.
Denise. See ya.
No
Thanks,
problem.
Denise. Bye.
Bye.
Cheers, Denise.
See ya.